Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another scene set in darkness in Dublin, a Vampire Masquerade Chronicle. Tonight, we set the scene with Francis and Fleur, a wonderfully alliterative duo, set in the Heron and Grey, a place that's starting to become a bit of a local hangout for Francis. A Michelin star restaurant that lies within his domain. He often tries to push just to keep the opening hours a bit longer. For him specifically, just an hour or two. Usually for private dining, not for not for the public. Just to keep the hours, keep open for an extra couple hours just for him and whatever guest he may have. Tonight, well, as stated, the guest is Fleur. So I guess we can start with Fleur. What is she doing? She makes her way over to Blackrock, the south side of Dublin. Wonderful coastal view.
So having she came from a meeting with Monique and a certain Lasombra. She took some time to freshen up in between, and make her way over to where Francis wants to meet her. And she arrives a few minutes earlier than the appointed time that they had set.
Francis, for his part, is probably not there then, as he arrives just on time. So you end up waiting for him maybe a couple minutes as he pulls up in a highly overpriced vehicle, Aston Martin Vanquish, something highly obnoxious and very pretty looking, very fast and not in any way practical for city roads.
Right.
He shows up in one of those. Beautiful car though.
Yeah, I didn't even put if she has a car. I imagine
in fact she has a couple. He has 4 now.
Let's see. I'm sure that she does, honestly.
Francis is 5. He has 2 unlocked. He has 2 illegal vehicles and 3 very legal ones.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, Francis gets out of the vehicle. He strides on up to you and kind of affectionately goes to kiss you on both cheeks.
She will return that gesture. Very lovely to see you again.
Even more lovely to see you, Fleur. I hope I haven't kept you waiting too long. I'm ever so sorry.
Oh no, I haven't been here very long at all. No need to apologize.
Still, I can't help myself. Shall we?
Of course.
He'll take her hand.
Then she will let him lead her to where they're going.
He'll lead her into the restaurant. It is, you know, I haven't been able to get a great layout of this restaurant, even though it exists in real life. from what I can tell, it's not particularly large, but it is very well furnished. A little bit Spartan in how it presents itself, but it's a fine dining restaurant, so it's not as if the standards are particularly low. They are very, very high.
Yes, for sure.
And let's see if I can get an image of it, and I can download it and put it on the screen. But he's reserved a table that's away, kind of off in its own corner, off in its own space. Away from what few people may actually, or who may still be there, which again is likely not many. And there's a lovely looking mirror that just kind of sits on the wall next to them. And I'll give up on my attempts to find a picture of this place, god damn it. But yes, he'll open up a chair for you and allow you to take a seat.
Yep, she will take it and smile to him appreciatively.
So, how has my favorite primogen in the whole wide world been doing?
She gives a light chuckle. Pretty well. I learned of more details of the events from the last Elysium.
Yes, that was an incident. It was an event. I'm also going to open up Discord because he's going to be flagrantly abusing the fact that he can look at your. I will roll for his aura perception because he's going to be abusing the hell out of that for the entirety of his meeting.
Okay.
Because this is fine and everything is fine and this is in no way abusing one's power. Nope. Not here. No sir. No ma'am. No primogen. Alright. Yeah. He's good enough. He only gets 3 successes, funnily enough. He actually is using his all specs to make it much easier though. So he can see your color, your shade, and the patterns.
Yeah, so she has deceptive aura.
Oh.
So she actually appears human. So he can tell that she has that little trick.
He notes that.
And her she appears relaxed. There's no cause for any sort of alarm on her feelings or anything like that. She seems to be relatively comfortable and relaxed. So she doesn't have any diablerie streaks or anything like that either.
Okay. We'll be keeping an eye on her as the scene goes on, as we clearly have to change this relaxed demeanor. This will not do.
Of course.
Of course.
So, she'll say, I also met a certain La Sombra.
Oh, he wouldn't happen to have been called Ambrose, would he?
Indeed, yes.
Oh my, and why on earth did he come crawling to you?
He didn't actually. Monique called for a meeting, and she replaced the jacket that he let her borrow, and it met an uncertain or an unfortunate fate. She wants to give him the chance to prove himself to us and to the rest of the Camarilla.
Do you?
He gave some information that is curious, if you wouldn't mind verifying it for me. Apparently, he was here during the conflict between the Sabbat and the Camarilla, and he defected at that point and fought alongside the Camarilla to take the city. If that information is correct, I would be more so inclined to have him do things for us and see if he can be loyal.
I'll look into it to you. There. I'll look into it for you.
I appreciate that.
Yes, I was there when he introduced himself to the prince.
And how did that go?
Well, the Malkavian almost killed him.
Yes, I heard about that.
I decided not to. Even if he's a traitor, I see value in him running around trying to masquerade as one of us. And if he is one of us, well, good thing I didn't kill him.
He gave a somewhat convincing sob story about atrocities that his sire committed against him.
Francis's smile fades. And something you notice during all this time as you talk, he is very human in his expressions. He
Mm-hmm.
breathes, he blinks, he has very human-like twitches. In fact, if he wasn't pale, you would mistake him for a human being.
Yep.
And rather, he just looks a little bit Fey in one, but a person.
Mm-hmm.
Some wine is delivered to the table where you speak as well. I took the initiative to ordering us some beverages. I hope they suit your tastes.
I have no doubts that they will.
He smiles and seems very happy with the response.
But yes, I am inclined to give him a chance. And if he messes up, well, she'll shrug. He will suffer consequences.
Yes, I hope he does prove his value. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not a fan of running people through.
There are far worse things than final death.
It's true. If he's not law, I suppose we can enforce loyalty.
A smile crosses her lips. Almost a devious smile. Indeed.
I feel like we're two great minds thinking alike here. Am I wrong? He tilts his head a bit mischievously.
I don't think so. We have a lot of the same training, if you will.
Oh. You have my interest. You had my interest. Now my curiosity. I feel the need to ask.
Well, remember, and out of character, they established in the last scene that they were in that they knew each other from Paris.
That's true.
Remember, we are from the same place.
True, but I believe I've been a bit. My upbringing was rather specialized.
Of course. Mine was. I'm not saying that our experiences were exactly the same, but having been exposed to the same people in our clan, I think that it's not far-fetched to say that we would think similarly.
I think you're very much correct. I appreciate that. He lays kind of both his hands on one of hers fairly gently. So, outside of speaking with the fringe, what else has my Primogen been up to? Making herself all the rage, no doubt.
So you know it. Keeping an eye on things. I want to look more into what happened at Elysium. I think calling together the... I know not every clan has a Primogen, but...
I can tell you. Small face again, become very stony, very stern. I can tell you quite a lot about the one that caused the incident as well.
She raises a brow. She looks very interested.
Dare I say you look almost surprised, for it is my job after all.
Why would I be surprised that the sheriff is doing his job?
There you go. When the thank you. He kind of the waiter just gives them some menus.
Mm-hmm.
When your new friend showed up to court and his loyalty was being tested, did you know how the did you hear how the prince decided to ascertain his loyalty?
No.
He stated that anyone who thought he was a traitor could kill him with the sword he threw on the ground. That's why the Markavian almost did.
Oh, wow.
I had a look inside his mental space, shall I say. I didn't feel the need to destroy him at that moment, so I didn't. But apparently the ghoul thought otherwise. But the prince saw fit to spare him after he was struck at, and Ambrose stopped the blade. Dare I say, the prince may have been impressed by Ambrose's moxie, but that is besides the point. When this announcement was made, I heard laughter and applause, but no one else seemed to register it. I began looking around. I was somewhat confused who would be acting with such jocularity, given the potential life or death situation and, well, the rather dominating presence of our prince. And I saw something up. He literally points straight up to the stands in the auditorium. It was an astral projection. An idealized form of a red lister, which I then immediately pointed out to everybody in the room. To which he then, and I can only believe said to me specifically because none reacted, that he should perhaps introduce himself more directly. And I jest to you not, he teleported into the Elysium. Intercepted a telepathic message between me and Delano as I told Delano to get every Toreador in the room out of the Elysium. Which he was either reading my mind or Delano's, but he intercepted that message and then began toying with the Toreador neonates in the room. He seemed to relish the fact that I had a degree of urgency in how I wanted my clan removed from the situation.
Of course.
He then summoned he toyed with and lightly tortured Katrina. Before summoning several gargoyles that I can only assume he stole from the Vienna Chantry, given the recency of that news, and turned the place into a hellhole, which we then promptly escaped before he did. He was making a statement.
Her jaw drops slightly and she just blinks. I see. This is very, very troubling.
He was using the old Tremere Chantry as a repository. The one that was abandoned when the Sabbats took over Dublin, however briefly. That situation's since been handled. And we visited his old chantry when he was a regent within Louisiana. We also ended up cooperating with several other supernaturals in that matter, but I've not seen anything of them since, and I hope I never have to. Some
She
refer to
nods.
themselves as angels, others as demons. I'm quite surprised they're not cooperating with him, to be honest. I, for one, have no tolerance for infernalists or the source of it, so I'm glad I haven't seen here nor there seen anything of them.
She nods. I hope I never do.
But one of us managed to procure one of his terms, and I need to gather up the kindred involved. As I will need to look at that, as I want to ascertain this creature's. I want to ascertain its motivations are clear. Rather, I want to ascertain how it fell, why, and how to stop it. As its goals seem to be contingent on 7 particular doors. From how it's been explained to me, fracture points in reality, effectively. He is quite intent on destroying the planet. I, for one, am quite surprised there's only one out of store here. He's number 3 on the red list, by the way.
All the more reason to hunt him down.
Unfortunately, his power currently exceeds mine. There was little I could do to help my clanmates when they were accosted in Elysium, and I am even more guilty of the fact that I may have inadvertently caused such suffering upon them.
You couldn't have known, but I understand.
To be honest, I am glad you were not there.
As much as I would have liked to have been there to help the rest of the clan, I am grateful I was not there as well.
She causes him to smile lightly. How's her aura doing, by the way?
She's definitely upset by the things that Francis is saying. Like, it's just not sitting well with her, and he could sense a bit of anger coming off of her as well from towards the red lister that caused these that caused this to happen. So yeah, some fleeting emotions as he goes through the events from anger, sadness, relief, a little bit of relief that when she was saying that she's grateful she wasn't there, there's a little bit of relief there too, because yeah, things would have happened that would have given other things away.
You pick very dark subject matter, don't you?
I'm sorry?
You pick very dark subject matter, don't you?
Was that in or out of character?
Oh, in character. He seems somewhat amused.
I have been known to. It is the inspiration for a lot of my music.
Still haven't had a chance to hear that voice. But
will.
Oh, if I have anything to say about it, I will.
She chuckles.
But I think you'll have a venue for yourself soon. Did you hear about a clanmate of ours, Portia? She's in town.
Is she?
The one from Chicago.
She nods.
She's thinking of buying up some real estate. I think we can both guess as to why.
Hmm.
But I don't think she's looking to stay. I think she's looking to set up a franchise.
I may have to speak with her.
She's invited me to do the same. I'll ask if you're welcome to come along. Although I
would.
think she at some point will want a private discussion with me.
She smiles almost a little bit mischievously. I'm sure she does.
He kind of looks at her, kind of registering the implication with complete like outrageously fake offense. Like it's not even.
It's not even worth making a roll for.
It's how dare? Well, he kind of bobbles his head as if to express, hey, he'd probably do that. Still, are we not having a private discussion ourselves right now?
Indeed we are, and I wonder what kind of rumors might swirl about that.
I'm more concerned with how true they might be.
She grins. Really?
Really? How's her aura looking? You want me to give you the list of colors?
Yeah.
Let me give you the list of colors.
Yeah, because I don't have them memorized.
Evan hates it when I do this because I make him do the colors and he fucking hates the colors. And I'm like, this is why I use the power, so you have to say the colors. That's literally the only reason why. There you go.
Jesus. Okay. So I guess the closest.
I can see color patterns, so I can see multiple colors. So
Okay. Well, she's definitely being flirtatious. So there's, I guess, a little bit of the desire is the deep red. But it's probably not quite as like deep as it could be. It's a little bit lighter. Some light blue. She's calmed back down. Yeah. From this list anyway. Those would be the colors. Red, light blue. Like, not the same color red as angry, though. Like,
No, it's deep red.
Yeah.
Half tempted to skip dinner. He takes the hand that he has of her and will just give it a light kiss.
So, because she has blush of health, she actually blushes a little bit. Oh my.
I think it could be said I very much deeply regret not getting to know you better in Paris.
She smiles. Well, we have time now. And as fate would have it, we are in the same city once again. Hmm. Do you believe in fate?
You know, until recently I would have said no.
She smiles.
He's kind of leaned forward. He's got both his elbows on the table. He kind of gently places her hand up against his cheek. Kind of just holds it there.
She will stroke her thumb along the line of his cheekbone. Now she's got some of that compassionate feelings going on there, so some pink. You just need someone, don't you?
You have me cornered. Quite literally. I was just kind of glance over to the corner.
Indeed, I do. So what she's going to do is she's going to pull her chair around to where she's sitting next to him. And she's just going to pull him into her arms and hold him for a minute. If he will allow that to happen.
He will.
Primogen and Sheriff aside, we Toreador need to keep a bit more in touch with our human sides than everybody else, I think.
Mm.
Just because we are no longer considered human doesn't mean we don't yearn for the things humanity does. Closeness, touch, comfort.
Feeling, passion.
Indeed. Might be a bit more difficult for some of us, but I have managed to hold on to mine.
While 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 they're talking, his hands are kind of lightly placed around her shoulders, and one of them raises to kind of cup one of her cheeks.
She will allow that to happen.
Hmm.
She looks to him.
He stares right back.
She will lean in and gently press her lips against his.
He kisses back.
She gives a he can sense that she's smiling, but she doesn't like actually smile. It's just like an internal
Yeah, what's the horror
smile.
look like?
Well, that red's gotten deeper.
The goal is blue. We're halfway there. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I'm joking. Let's literally turn every or blue. Let's do it. He will kiss her back more deeply and more passionately.
Yep, she will return that as well. After a minute or two, she'll break it and she'll look to him and she'll say, "Perhaps this location is no longer befitting for us."
Well, I'd say so. We haven't even had dinner. He for the record, he's joking.
What did he say?
He
You
says,
cut out.
"Well, I'd agree. We haven't even had dinner."
Let's just skip straight to dessert.
Let's. She's kind of got him pressed up against the corner, so if she actually wants to get up, it'll be on. The onus is on her.
Yeah, she hasn't actually gotten up yet. But after a moment, she will stand up. move her chair back. What would you like to do?
Where would you like to go?
My place or yours?
He thinks. How about yours?
She gives a nod, holds her hand out.
He takes it.
And she says to him, "Since you drove, we will take your car. I'll give you directions."
Sure thing. He'll wrap an arm around her waist and take her over to his vehicle.
She'll smile and get into the car when they get there, and she'll give directions to her very, very nice condo, like what the Irish equivalent of that would be. It's very nice. She has resources for, so
Yeah.
it's very nice. And I think we can probably imagine what's going to happen after this.
Yeah. We can actually skip forward ahead if you want, because
Yep. Didn't he still have something else he needed to talk to her about?
he lost his train of thought. Can't imagine why.
I can't imagine why either. So yeah, we'll skip that. We'll skip ahead to after. Yeah, her, like I said, it's very nice. 3 bedrooms, like a chef's type kitchen, and just, very luxurious type of place that she has.
Yeah, I guess it's safe to say that Francis is in Fleur's bed.
Yep. She'll like kind of snuggle up to him and lay her head on his chest and look up to him, and she'll say, "Well, that happened."
Yes, but should we even be surprised?
I suppose not. Was there I don't think that we ever actually got to the reason why you wanted to meet with me in the first place.
I wanted to get to know you.
Well, you've been doing that.
I hope quite well. We never had a chance to talk. You sort of just became primitive, and while there's always going to be the connotations of, oh, the Toreador wants to get to know his primogen, I'd like to get to know you.
Ah, the actual person behind the title.
Who are you? Why do you come here? What do you plan to do now that you're here?
Well, I was born in Ireland. I was born, well, here in Dublin, actually. It's where I'm from. And he can tell that her accent is kind of mixed. She has an Irish flair to her French. And I moved to Paris for school. And that is where I was embraced. I've always had a passion for music. I studied music theory, composition. Stayed in Paris for a while. Formed my band. Was in and out once we made a name for ourselves. Went on tour. We just finished our first world tour, or second world tour. What did I put in her backstory? 1 second. It was their second. Yeah, second. We just finished our second world tour. And we wanted some downtime, some time to have for ourselves, work on solo projects. All of my band, they're not aware of what I am, but I've never had any problems.
If you've made it this far, I can't imagine you would have.
I do use them and the crew for feeding purposes at times. I make them feel pretty good. Of course they want to stay. She smiles.
How could they ever leave?
But I wanted to come home. I hadn't been here in so long, and I had heard about the recent retaking of the city from the Sabbat. So I figured that we could come here, have our downtime, and I could really get back into my unlife side of things for a while. Take some time for that. Focus a little less on music, though I will never not focus on music. It's just ingrained in me. I imagine we'll probably do some shows here. I'll do some solo things. But yeah, I was curious about the state of things here politically and wanted to see if I could help while also visiting my home. It was almost I guess you could say, a win-win situation there.
Well, so far I think you've been quite helpful.
She smiles. The Toreador here seemed to be very ambitious, which I like to see.
An unambitious Toreador is a very poor Toreador indeed.
She nods. Exactly. What about you? Why did you decide to come to Dublin?
Oh, Mine's far more grim, shall we say. I'm afraid it would even spoil the mood.
She taps his nose. Fine. Be that way. You want to get to know me, but you won't let me get to know you.
Now I just feel guilty.
She smirks as if that was her goal. If nothing else, guilt trip.
Let me make it up to you. You'll actually you'll kind of nuzzle between her chin and nip at her neck for a few seconds.
Oh my.
I
Yeah,
don't. Oh, go ahead.
I was say she's definitely receptive to that.
And he probably lets it hang a little bit longer for maybe even a few minutes. Eventually, he lets go. He just kisses the wound clean.
She lets out a long sigh of happy pleasure type.
I don't think I ever told you. Oh, sorry.
Nope, go ahead. She's
No,
just gonna say
no.
she kind of looks at him expectantly.
He He gives her a playful look. His face is very close to her. The forehead's kind of touching. And kind of occasionally he kisses her as he talks and embraces her. Kind of wraps his arms, his hands down by her lower waist. I don't believe I ever told you my particular art form.
No, you did not.
That is because, if I may be brutally honest, I do not truly have one. I came here to fight the same enemy I've been fighting in Paris. And lo and behold, I have just found myself as the sheriff. Convenient. When the city was retaken, they wanted Kindred to move back in, and there were concerns that the Anarchs had bats hiding inside of them. I've actually gotten one to bite.
Oh my.
Hook, line, and sinker, although I must admit, it didn't take much effort on my part. They really just did it to themselves.
wonderful when things work out that way, isn't it?
Yes, he has a horrible sounding name though. Francis can't cough. He ended up betraying one of his own anarch friends. One of them ratted out to me. And for it appears the anarchs are backing the one that betrayed them. And now they're at war with us, and we have a bloodhunted anarch. It's all a bit of a mess, really. But I don't mind. If the anarchs wish to back us a bat, well, that makes my job a lot easier. So do be careful, even though you are my primogen. I wouldn't want you getting hurt by unruly anarchs. Kind of kisses her very softly on the cheek as he says that.
She smiles. I appreciate your protectiveness, my dear sheriff. I will be careful of them.
And if you ever need me, I'm always here to provide.
Of course.
Yes. I could say some things about my mortal life, but, well, it's perhaps less relevant than it is to yours. My life changed fairly significantly when I was embraced. Which is a strange thing to say.
She listens to him.
I was a soldier back in my mortal days. Fought in a lot of wars. Of course, when those wars end, well, hard to find employment. I was actually doing fairly well athletically. But you wouldn't see me in any history books. I guess you could say I had my fair share of above board and below board uh, above board and below board events. It's actually one of those events where I was discovered by my sire. And then I served as her servitor for a very long time. I've even managed to make myself a rival.
Really?
From the other side, of course. The big bad sword of Cain.
She nods. Is there anything that you need help with?
I serve my clan, I do not expect them to serve me. Which is actually a blatant lie, so I'm going to have him roll.
Right. She quirks an eyebrow.
He gets 3 successes. But yeah. Oh, he actually gets to roll additional dice because I actually increased some of the futures down there. And I get a 1, of course. So, yeah, that one extra dice coming in real handy. Good job, dice roller.
Right. Let's
But
see.
actually, I don't think he'll need to roll because he will say, "That's a lie."
She chuckles.
But I always expect to put more into the clan than I get out.
Honestly, I think we all expect that. Or we should.
But now you're going to be one of the primary beneficiaries.
Which I'm sure won't be nearly all that it's cracked up to be. One thing that I have learned through being famous in the mortal world is to keep your ego in check. You won't get very far with a big head. Many Toreador lose themselves to the ego. Other clans too, but we seem to do it relatively often.
Well, I certainly hope this is all it's cracked up to be.
Me too. You are welcome to stay here for the day if you wish.
You honor me, Primogen, and he'll mischievously kiss her.
Yep. And yeah, that'll probably lead to another round.
Yeah. I'm actually going to fast forward again because he wasn't actually finished.
This is so funny. I love it.
Toreador's at it again.
Mhm.
You make it very hard to concentrate. You know that.
I could say the same for you.
Deeply apologize.
Apology accepted. She's being very playful. And then she'll look to him.
Yeah. She'll lightly kiss her.
I apologize myself for interrupting you.
Unfortunately, I'm not so forgiving.
Mm,
But I think you can earn it back.
I'll work on that.
And he'll bite into her chest. But only for a few seconds. He actually bites his way up to her neck and then simply kisses her. I don't normally get opportunities like this.
No.
It's been a very stressful few months.
Mm. Well, I am glad that I could be a source of relief and not add more stress.
Likewise. Do you think of my story as strange?
Mm, I I wouldn't say strange. No.
Rarely is it one of my lack of artistic talent is embraced by one of such prestige as my sire. Nor do they tend to invest so much. I haven't met many composers that have had the luxury of being in my position, or its burdens. Kind of looks off to the side. I've done a lot of traveling. I actually want to stop. I'd like to remain in Dublin if at all possible.
Yes, I believe I would like to remain in Dublin as my base of operations.
Then all the more reason for me to stay.
She smiles.
To have the luxury of hearing your voice, seeing you every other night and feeling your body against mine is rapidly becoming a luxury I can't live without.
Mm. I will sing for you. She will sing an Irish lullaby. And let's see. She has. I mean, so she has 9 dice plus enchanting voice. So, would you like me to roll?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
If you get more than 5 successes, I'll have him willfully fail.
Oh, he'll become enthralled. Okay. 9d10.
But you need the 5 successes, otherwise he doesn't need to roll.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, actually, because enchanting voice has been brought up, Francis has it too. So you probably see an inkling of talent in him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as you as you begin to kind of sing softly into his ear, you see his embrace around you becomes a lot more soft and gentle, and his head gently rests upon your shoulders. He nuzzles, sways softly. At some point, perhaps begins kissing her neck, almost in reverence, or almost in like as if to emphasize the passion of the moment.
Yes, her voice is very haunting and ethereal, but in a very pleasant way. It's extremely captivating.
I'm just gonna roll a self-control because his passion may actually cause him to bite you in the middle of it.
Oh, all
Just gonna
right.
have a roll for that because obviously then you'll have to roll self-control to not lose track. And he does maintain control, so he doesn't bite you in that regard. But, yes, he is very much enthralled with you.
Nice. Yeah, let me make sure that she doesn't lose herself in the moment either, because she'll just keep singing it over and over and over again.
She botches.
I don't even know what. One second. I don't even know what to do.
Well, it lasts a scene for Francis, so eventually he will come out of it. Because I believe it lasts a scene. I'm actually going to double check. Because if it goes on forever, he will actually probably end up letting you. I'm going to double check though.
Yeah, it's like it's like she doesn't have a lot of control over what she's singing. The song just keeps repeating, almost like like a disc on repeat. She just keeps singing it over and over.
Okay. Yeah, last for a scene. So they probably remain in this strange feedback loop for over an hour. Eventually, a modicum of sense, you don't really truly break out of it. I'm going to roll again. Hold on a second. I just need. Yeah. I'm going to have him roll again and see if he can. Actually, for the sake of the scene, I will say he breaks out of it enough. That he will bite Flora, which actually requires her to make a self-control check. Because Kiss is actually a self-control difficulty 8 to resist. Or I guess she could just choose to fail. That would actually definitely stop the singing.
Yep. Yeah, that would break her. Basically, she's now in a state of fugue, of just the automatic response of keep singing. But if that would probably break it, I'm sure. So if you want to make it hurt, that would break her out of it.
Oh, he doesn't make it hurt. He tries to make it feel good.
Oh, well, I don't know that. I don't know. That would. Yeah, it probably would, actually. Because it would just disrupt the...
She'd probably come out of it maybe after a minute after Francis has bid her.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the disruption is enough. Of course, Francis kind of looks at her, seeing her still singing. Kind of entranced, but not completely at this point, because it's been a scene's length, so
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't last forever. Art is a moment, as they say. And yeah, perhaps what comes out of her fugue, Francis looking at her.
Yeah, she kind of like blinks. Did you enjoy the song?
I loved it, Fleur.
Good.
He just kisses her passionately.
She will return that.
But it's bad form to be taken by your own work. He kind of smiles mischievously.
She wraps her arms around him.
Thank you. You have a truly beautiful voice.
Thank you.
I can only hope I'll hear it again.
I assure you that you will. Sometimes, if you listen closely, you could catch me singing softly to myself. As I said before, music is always there on my mind.
On your mind. I'll be sure to listen. He looks at you and he smiles. It's slightly genuine, actually. How's her aura looking?
Bum.
I presume throughout these sessions will been all manners of deep red that
Oh yeah. Deep red. She was in like a daydream type state, so the sharp flickering colors too. There's a little bit of the darker blue seeping in, but it's not like overly so. Light blue is there.
not normal blue, god damn it.
Oh, I said there was a little bit of it, but it's not like overly.
No. I'm talking love struck blue, not
Yeah, I know.
I thought you meant suspicious.
Oh, no, I meant the darker blue as opposed to the light blue that I described before.
Okay, that's good.
No, dark blue, no, there is no suspicion there.
Okay.
She doesn't have a reason to be suspicious right now. She's extremely relaxed.
I like how we're using her aura meter some sort of progress meter.
Right? Like,
It is entirely blue.
watching the needle jump around, it's not going to be entirely blue in this scene. I'm just letting you know.
No, no. We'll have to work to get the true end. He'll wrap his arms around her. It's very soft. He actually has he has his sense of touch heightened. Thank you for being open-minded with me. It's not a privilege I'm always afforded.
She smiles. You lose out on a lot if you don't open your mind.
We seem to beat to the same tune. It's interesting.
It is, isn't it?
Hmm. But she could have dismissed me, and you did not. And I appreciate that.
She smiles and nods, just, letting him have that, acknowledging it, what have you.
And I know I've said it before, but if you ever need me, you know I'm always there. I may not have a voice like yours or a painting hand of Monique or Delano's cooking, but I can protect those things.
I very much appreciate that.
Show me.
She grins. And she will proceed to show him exactly how much she appreciates him.
I think that's probably where we can end our scene. Thank you for
Yes.
entertaining. Thank you, watchers, for watching. We'll see you all next time.